The M-rays emanate from the southern continent. It is difficult to get an exact lock. Scans show the continent is in a primeval state of development. Same readings as the long-range probes 55 years ago, when this system was first mapped.
Why would M-rays be emanating from there?
Why indeed, sir?
Most improbable.
Magnifier?
Computer enhancement.
What was that?
I do not know, sir. I have readings showing structures, land development, roads. Then I went back to the original scan readings, coinciding with the change in the view screen.
Scanner malfunction?
Not my scanners.
Well then, somebody or something is sending us false sensor data. Let's find out who. Daryl, you're with me. Sharon, have astrogeologist Callie meet us in the transporter room.
Yes, sir.
Vincent Tenoshi, how many landing parties have you been on?
2, sir.
Third time's the charm. Mike, you have the bridge.
Yes, sir.
Captain?
How close are we to the source of the M-rays?
Due to their interference, I am unable to scan more than a few yards out. This place is not natural.
How so?
That is a Georgia spruce. That is a Seton hardwood. And I believe I just stepped on a Klingon spitting bug.
Oh, you have no honor. Never mind.
What have we here?
Rhodinium. By my estimate, it has been here about 500 or 600 standard years.
Rhodinium is not natural to this planet. At first glance, this appears to be a iron silica Class M planet.
This looks familiar.
Preserver.
That's it?
That's what, sir?
Sometimes I miss the old guys. Except Rickard, of course. The Preservers were a race of seemingly benevolent beings who operated in this sector of the galaxy until about 4 centuries ago. They transplanted endangered species of humanoids to various worlds.
Ancient Egyptians, Native Americans, certain Pacific Island cultures of Earth, Andorians, Klingons.
And Vulcans?
Not that I'm aware of.
Captain's log, stardate 9654.0. 4 days ago, the Potemkin picked up faint M rays, which we traced to an unexplored Class M planet. Or so we thought. Ensign Tenoshi, follow me.
Aye, sir.
I bet you never dreamed your first contact would be with a member of your own species.
I do not dream, sir.
Of course not. Keep your hands away from your side, palms forward. Smile.
Aye, sir.
Do you want to use the translator, or do you want to try and wing it?
Diftor hes musma.
Soshi in Dif.
You recognize my greeting.
Tell him we're from beyond the Great Valley.
What great valley, sir?
Every planet has a great valley.
Et por yarets mesak lo uk kuli.
Grego Peck. Du halava van stuk.
Did not believe me, sir. He is familiar with space travel.
Tell him... Oh, the hell with it.
Universal Translator Alpha Mode Online.
I am Captain Alec Grigory of the Federation starship Potemkin. This is my science officer, Ensign Tenoshi. Pardon my ignorance. You are Vulcan, are you not?
I am Calv of the tribe Tarik.
In case you were curious, I'm human from the planet Earth. If our estimates are correct, your people left Vulcan before our species met.
I was not curious.
Captain, I urge caution. We're having trouble reading you through the M-ray interference.
Your concern is appreciated, Mike, but we're going in. Sit tight. Hurry up.
Wait.
I am Sarat, leader of the Tarik tribe.
I am Captain Alec Grigory of the Federation starship Potemkin. And these are my officers, Lieutenant Quentin Callie, Lieutenant Darrell Frazier, and Ensign Tenoshi.
Live long and prosper.
You are a follower of Surak.
I am.
We have forgotten Surak's ways in our exile.
I inferred as much from my limited observations.
You will teach us his ways, will you not?
I am not qualified. If time permits.
The Tamek tribe, also brought here by the visitors, War's upon us without cause. The civilization we built, they destroyed. We must be constantly vigilant. But I have attempted to make peace.
Always the preferable alternative?
Unfortunately, our envoys were slaughtered.
Legend holds that Sarat sent 7 envoys to barter with his enemies, before one was permitted to live.
I have sent twice that many to the Temec dictator. I can no longer send such good men and women to such certain death. You are wise beyond your years. My open display of emotion, it bothers you.
Your ways are different. I must remember that the idic I wear is a way of life, not just a piece of jewelry.
Calv, issue a decree. Henceforth, the tribe curtail all emotional displays upon their countenances. Less smiling, more meditating.
Sir, this is a war camp.
I concur. I'm a scientist, Captain, and the visual evidence is quite clear.
I concluded as much myself.
Don't be fooled by the number of people we see around camp. There are probably hundreds out there, lying low. These people act more like Romulans than Vulcans. You don't think...
No, that schism happened 1,000 years before these people were brought here. If Tenoshi's estimates of the wreckage are correct.
Sarat seems smitten with Ensign Tenoshi.
Perhaps we can use that to our advantage. Perhaps not. Daryl, keep an eye on him.
Since the moment I met him.
And you keep an eye on her.
Easy enough. But remember, I'm a geologist, not a chaperone.
Grigory here.
Sir, sensors not functioning well.
Say it again, Mike. You're breaking up.
So we're having some problems up here. The sensors are down.
Understood.
So the transporters have been disabled by the M-rays.
They're wreaking havoc on the support systems as well.
We can't even get the hangar doors open.
Wouldn't be happening if I were in that seat.
Engineering to bridge, emergency condition 1.
Birdie has all 3 engineering shifts on emergency duty.
The rays originated about 11 kilometers west of your position.
Mike? Mike, are you there?
Captain's log supplemental. With communication to the Potemkin cut off by the M-rays, we are effectively trapped here. Our only hope, find the source of the rays and disable it.
Captain, earlier I had a reading. It was there, and then it was gone again. But I locked onto his position. 3.2 kilometers in that direction.
Alec! You cannot go into the valley.
Watch me. Something down there you don't want us to see?
I'm concerned for your safety. The Grockle, a vicious reptile that preys on our young, roams the forest. I will accompany you.
Preferably without your armed friends following us.
Done. I have nothing to fear from you. device. Does it not detect people in life forms?
Normally, yes. But there's too much interference.
We should not go along this part of the river.
But the interference is directly in line with the stream.
Grockles live along the rivers and streams. Follow me.
Ensign, you need to be careful.
Sir?
Word to the wise, you need to forget about him.
That would require a memory wipe meld, which is forbidden.
Don't play the literal Vulcan with me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. His every word is a lie. I'm giving the lecture here.
The obelisk is forbidden.
We must find some means of ingress.
Here.
Definitely preserver.
All of the known preserver languages are on the Potemkin's computers. I cannot access that from here.
What is it?
A relic from the race that brought your people here.
Is it a weapon system?
It doesn't look like a written language.
They're basically musical notes.
Are you suggesting that we sing to it? Just a thought.
Ensign?
This is the mainframe.
These are the backup units.
This is the backup generator. And this controls the false readings. If I circuit through here... No.
It could be a trap.
Come on, Ensign.
I could use my tricorder to feed the signal.
Don't overthink it. Just shut this thing down. Grigory to Potemkin. Grigory to Potemkin, do you read?
Rhodinium in the walls is probably preventing the signal from getting through.
Let's get back to the surface and see if we can get a signal through from there.
Easy. Careful.
My weapon. My communicator. Do you have them?
The devices are gone. Lost in Proulx's attack, no doubt. Lay back down. Been seriously wounded.
I appreciate your concern, Cal, though I'm sure you're overestimating my injury. How are the others? Answer me.
They are dead.
Ship's log, stardate 9648.3. The M-rays from the planet below continue to cause disruptions to the ship's communications and life support systems. The paracrew are working round the clock to repair the damage to our sensors, and to put even our most basic ship functions back online. The work keeps us occupied, keeps us from dwelling on our concerns, our fears, for Captain Grigory and the landing party's safety.
Where are we?
You are among friends.
Captain, my phaser's missing.
As are our communicators.
Where's Tenoshi?
Weapons are not permitted in this place.
Where are we?
Welcome to Samaya. I am Proulx, leader of the Temek tribe. It was my sons, Telik and Sekles, who first became aware that we had visitors on our planet. It is to them you owe thanks.
How so? For our capture?
No, sir. Your rescue from the butcher, Sarat.
I have a crewman missing. Tenoshi, Vulcan, 21 standard years old, light hair.
Unfortunately, we were told your missing crewman was carried off by Sarat.
Proulx will find us again, as he has so often before.
We should parley with him. I offer myself as an envoy.
But should you be killed, I would not forgive myself. I am to blame for the death of your shipmates.
Self-recrimination is not logical. As Starfleet officers, we all knew the risks inherent in our profession.
Again, your wisdom outstrips your years. Tell me of our home.
I should not do so. The Prime Directive prohibits Starfleet interference in planets such as your own.
Prohibits interference. You'll explain this to me, won't you?
Captain Grigory, may I present to you my wife, the Lady Tahima.
Lady Tahima.
Captain Grigory.
Captain's log supplemental.
Proulx has returned our phasers and communicators. We've not been able to contact Tenoshi, though we did raise the Potemkin. Residual M-ray radiation is still interfering with sensor operation, but it's clearing up. Once the sensors are back online and the transporter is operational, we will be able to locate Ensign Tenoshi and beam us all back aboard. Until then, we can only accept Proulx's hospitality.
In the year of Sarat, 1364, before the sands of the forge had been swept clean of the fallout, the visitors came. The night the stars fell from the sky, the night our two tribes rose into the heavens. But something went wrong. Even our advanced visitors were not beyond the malfunctions of machinery. From the ashes of the crashed vessel, we began here, not on the world carefully prepared for us, but on this Sumaya, this cold, wet planet, hostile in almost every way to the Vulcan physiology.
Our visitors became our equals, both struggling for survival.
Where are the preservers? The ones who brought you here?
The preservers? An odd choice of name. They left us long ago. The cold that slowed us froze them.
Cold? This is cold?
To Vulcans, this is probably chilly and rather damp. Haven't you ever heard of the phrase, hot as Vulcan?
I wish to return to the obelisk containing the preserver technology. I may have lost my communicator there. If not, then I can contact my vessel using the preserver equipment.
Maybe I'll go with you. I've long dreamed of communicating with a heavenly body.
My human shipmates would call that a line. A deceitful statement based on flattery used to achieve an end, usually from male to female.
Your shipmates would be right.
You wish to know more of the teachings of Sarat?
Yes. Tomorrow.
With all due respect, I heard this same story yesterday. Sarat made it just as heart-tugging. More so, actually.
Sarat was a charming young man, a low-level administrator who disagreed with our system of government. Over the course of his 15 years in office, he amassed a great number of followers, many of them members of our military. When he was removed from office, after attempting to foment rebellion, he and his followers launched a devastating atomic attack. Only a few of us remain to resist him. So, Captain, you can understand how desperate our people are.
This is the last city on Sumaya. When it is gone, we will be no more.
We are barely able to fight off Sarat. His followers fight with a viciousness we are barely able to match.
Fortunately, he has run out of the ammunition he needed for his projectile weapons.
Even though we are on equal footing in terms of weaponry, we have been unable to capture him.
We cannot help you.
I understand your reluctance to interfere, but we're dying. The fallout has caused countless deaths already. As a physician,
I'm sorry, Tehima. It is not that I am reluctant. We are not permitted to interfere.
We had a civilization that took over 600 years to build and a day to destroy.
It came into being because of the so-called Preserver's interference. Please do not let it die because of your non-interference.
Captain, please do not be troubled. Rest. We can discuss it on the morrow.
Grigory and his people have such weapons.
They will only defend themselves. Make sure you tell the soldiers not to target or threaten them. Proulx, my old mentor. Soon you and your tribe will be cleansed from Sumaya. Make sure she stays occupied.
Captain's personal log, stardate 9655.1. When I was commissioned, I swore to uphold the Prime Directive. I've had my doubts about its viability many times, but I have never broken my oath. Never.
Who are you?
No one in particular. I am not an individual being. I'm a ghost, if you will. A lasting impression, an echo of what was. An overseer of what is left of the failed transplanting.
A preserver?
Yes. And much like a garden where the weeds have taken root, there are far more problems than can be taken care of by pruning.
Your people had lofty ideals, but, to be honest, piss-poor execution. You couldn't get half your refugees to the right planet. You put another group right in the heart of an asteroid belt. Excuse me for sounding rude, but what the hell were you thinking?
Tribes Tarait and Tamek have fought for over 2,000 years. They would have soon been extinct. If it helps matters, we intended to transplant the tribes to different worlds.
My people believe it is best to stay out of the destiny of others.
Have you ever stepped on an insect, Captain?
Yes, I've interfered 1,000 times in small, inconsequential ways, but never with a sentient being.
I am not here to debate you, child. Most of the groups we preserved would have ceased to exist on their native worlds. No matter how we may have erred, the Vulcans of Tarait and Tamek still live. Navajos, Mohicans, and Delaware, who would have been lost in the bloody battles of your world, thrive on dozens of worlds. The Hickley Click and Dorians. I could go on and on.
How many times have you stayed around to guide them?
It is not our job to guide them.
Nor is it mine.
Captain?
Captain.
How badly did I lose that argument?
Excuse me, sir?
Ghosts of preservers past. But never mind. What is it, Quentin?
I'm worried about Tenoshi. If what Proulx says is true...
We must do something.
You're not going to help Proulx defeat Sarat.
Sarat? Kalv? Beirut? Jalan?
Captain Grigory, our advanced scouts warn us that Sarat is on the move.
He's closing in on the city with hundreds of his followers.
You have weapons that can stop him.
We ask, in the name of Sarat.
We cannot interfere. We are only permitted to defend ourselves if necessary. Otherwise, we too must head for the hills to await our rescue. I am sorry.
My lord, Sarat is on the move. We must get you to safety.
Tehima? My son?
We must go quickly.
Ensign Tenoshi to any Starfleet officer.
Grigory here. Where are you?
I'm at the Preserver Obelisk. Frankly, sir, I'm surprised to hear that you are alive. Obviously, Sarat was mistaken.
Are you with him at present?
No, sir. He abandoned encampment without telling me.
We're approximately 3 kilometers west of there. We'll meet you halfway. Home in on my signal.
Yes, Captain.
Sir, Chief Engineer reports the transporter has been repaired. He's locked onto the Captain and Misters Fraser and Callie.
Hail the captain. Mike, is my transporter fixed?
Yes, sir. We've located the 3 of you.
Beam us up. I'm trying to locate Tenoshi.
Yes, Captain. Transporter room, beam the captain aboard.
know she is still down there. Beam her aboard.
Scanning, sir. She was obscured by some sort of energy field earlier.
And does anyone know what happened next?
Sarat walked up to his enemy and held out his hand in friendship.
Yes, he held out his hand in friendship and said, "Give peace a chance."
Bring her to me.
Yes, General. She is only stunned. She is not killed.
He was worthless.
They're only children.
They are the Temek tribe. The world must be cleansed of their blight.
Captain, Sarat has my phaser. He's using it to kill children.
Storm, beam aboard Tenoshi's phaser and anything else with transstater technology.
Yes, sir.
We must do something about Sarat. He butchered 6 children.
We've recovered the phaser. Clearly, the damage has been done. I will not interfere in their civil war, Ensign. Do I make myself clear?
Are you okay, Ensign?
I failed in my evaluation of his worth. His nature was truly evil. Something I could not expect of a Vulcan.
You're young. You'll learn.
I did not expect...
Put away your expectations. If you're going to serve aboard a starship.
Samara, you've turned traitor.
One does what one must.
Ambassador to Anna, won't you reconsider? The members of the Temek tribe are on the verge of extinction at the hands of the Tarag tribe.
Understand, Captain, that they are no more Vulcan than they are Romulans. To reintroduce them to Vulcan would be a disruption of our society. This is something the High Council cannot permit.
So, you're just going to turn your back on them?
Did you, Captain? Tiana out.
Furthermore, despite my outright pleas to the Vulcan ambassador, the inhabitants of Sumaya will not be repatriated. Ship status normal. All systems affected by the M-rays are back online, and Barty reports we can get underway shortly. Enter. Relax, Ensign.
Sir, this is an official request. Protocol dictates.
Only I dictate on the Potemkin. Relax. Stand at ease. Official request?
Yes, sir. I am formally requesting a transfer to Vulcan. My performance on this mission shows my unsuitability to serve on a ship of the line. I was unprofessional. I endangered the lives of everyone in the landing party. And I allowed my emotions to hold sway over my logic. A posting at Vulcan would more rigorously allow me to prepare for the Kolinar ritual.
At your age?
Why must I be reminded of the shortcomings of my youth? He killed the children with my phaser.
Self-recrimination is not logical, Ensign. We'll be headed to Starbase 211 shortly. Take a shuttle from there to Vulcan. I'm giving you 3 weeks leave. If afterwards you still want to transfer, I'll grant it. Dismissed.
Children.
Where is Sarat?
I will take you to him. Grigory would speak with you.
Calv? Alec took my means of cleansing my world when you took back your weapon. Look, what I have done. Beautiful, isn't it, Alec?
I came for Tenoshi's Idik.
Thought I'd keep it. A pleasant reminder of a lovely child. terrible thing, this prime directive. You want nothing more at this moment than to interfere. You're not right, Alec. Tell Tenoshi I will think of her often, whenever I look upon my success. A success brought about with her help, even if it was unintended. Live long and prosper, Alec.
Peace and long